Hey everyone, this is MusicTechHelpGuy, and hopefully you've all been loving the new Logic 10.5 update and playing around with all the new features like I have. In this video, rather than just touching on one of the new features, I want to show you how the sampling and beat building workflow has vastly improved with this update. In particular, using the drag and drop sampling workflows, the updates to Drum Machine Designer, Live Loops, and the Step Sequencer all in tandem. Now, real quick, if you want to dive deep into the features of Live Loops and the Step Sequencer, I actually have two courses I've done over at macprovideo.com that you can check out. I'll leave links to those in the video description and in the comments. So if you're primarily a Logic user, these new features have created sort of a holy grail workflow for beat building right now. The ability to just drag and drop in samples, make a custom drum instrument in seconds, build out a beat in Step Sequencer, and then arrange that beat in Live Loops. Everything happens a lot faster and more efficiently with this new workflow. So in this video, I'll show you how all these features work together in tandem. So to start, I've got some drum samples here. I've got a few different hi-hats, a couple different snares, a couple different kicks. And what I'm going to do is just select all of these samples. I've got some 808s and an effects sample as well, but I'm going to put those on separate tracks. So I'm just going to drag my hats, kick, and snare directly onto the track header area. It'll give you a few different options. You can choose to create a sampler instrument, or what I'm going to do is create a new Drum Machine Designer instrument. And I'll admit, Drum Machine Designer kind of sucked in the previous versions of Logic. I really didn't like how it operated because it was sort of just a container to hold an Ultrabeat instrument. And as you've probably heard, now Drum Machine Designer functions on the quick sampler as well as the drum synth instrument. So nothing is mapped to the GM drum map, and that's fine. It's not any big deal because we're going to define these different pads as different rows in the Step Sequencer in just a moment anyway. But the cool thing here is you can literally just drag and drop, and within seconds you have a custom drum instrument. Before, in Ultrabeat, you had to load up that drag and drop samples kit, load in each sample individually. It was a pain in the ass. This is way easier to do. If you decide later that you want to add more samples in, you just simply drag your sample onto the pad and it'll load it in. Another thing you can do is you can add drum synth instruments. So let's say up here on G#1, I want to add an instrument. Well, if I show my Drum Machine Designer track here, I'm just going to rename this. What you'll see is that Drum Machine Designer really is, it's more of a, like a track stack than it is a real instrument. It's a container to hold other instruments. So it's like a track stack with multiple quick samplers loaded into it. So if I click this plus button here, it's going to create another track that I can load another quick sampler on, or I can load in my case, drum synth. So I'm going to load in drum synth. So I've got kicks, snares, and hi-hats. You know what I'll do? I'll add a crash cymbal. So I've got one crash sound as well. So you can mix and match your drum synth instruments with your samples. So that's really cool. Now, if you want to hide the GM drum kit names, because we're not following the GM drum map here, if you go up here and click on this little icon here, you can go to Hide General MIDI Drum Names. And it'll hide those names, and you'll just see the note that they're all on. Let me close that out. Let me collapse Drum Machine Designer here. I'll just delete this extra track up here. I'm going to go to Live Loops. And one thing I said in my Logic 10.5 What's New video is that when you're working with Live Loops, you generally want to create a short, like 8-bar loop at the beginning. Just helps to wrangle the playhead, and it also makes sure that when you start scenes that they play back immediately. So I'm going to create a new pattern cell here. Double click on that to open up the Step Sequencer. And you'll see that it automatically creates rows for each sample pad in Drum Machine Designer. Now, if I really want to go crazy with this, I can right click on each one of these and I can choose an icon for each as well. So off screen, I added some appropriate icons for each of the rows. I'm just going to build out a basic beat here using 16 steps and using a 16th note step rate, or resolution as it used to be called in Ultrabeat. Okay, I'll make this a bit longer. Let me go 32 steps. Then I'll change up the beat a bit on the second repetition. Now remember, when you're using live loops, when you trigger a scene, you want to press spacebar to stop playback, but then command return to stop all cells. You can also just audition, you can just play back what's in the step sequencer by clicking here, or you can press Option Command to start and stop the step sequencer independent from the live loops grid and the tracks area. On my first hi-hat here, I want to create sort of like a trap style hi-hat beat. I want these to go faster than 16th notes. So one of the cool options here is you can click here on velocity/value rather than step on off, and you can change this to note repeat. And what this does is it allows you to repeat notes faster than their original step length. So you can go from 1 all the way to 16 steps. So I'm going to add a few like triplets and 30-second notes in here. So if I split a 16th note in half in 2, now it's become a 30-second note. If I split it in 3, now it's a 30-second note triplet. If I split it in 4, now it's 64th note. So we're going even faster. Cool. Now I'll go back to step on off, and I can go back to programming my pattern and making changes in the notes again. Now I've got this open hi-hat right here, and then the other 3 are closed hi-hats. And the way hi-hats generally work is they work in an exclusive group or a monophonic group. That means that you only want one hi-hat sound to trigger at a time. Well, you can easily set this up in Drum Machine Designer. So I'll go back to Drum Machine Designer. And what I'll do for all 4 of my hi-hats is I'll click here, go to exclusive group, and put them all in exclusive group 1. So what this means is that when my open hi-hat plays, followed by a closed hi-hat, it'll actually close the hi-hat, much like a real hi-hat would. So let's give this a shot. I'm going to leave a little gap here so there's a little bit of space for this open hi-hat to ring. And then once this next hi-hat comes in, it will close. So now it's not just going to keep ringing out and ringing out. I'm going to slow the tempo down a little bit too. Let's go like 90. Let me go back to my sample folder here. I had some 808 samples here. I'm going to make a separate instrument out of these. So I'll drag these into Drum Machine Designer. You could use Sampler as well, but I'm just going to use Drum Machine Designer for simplicity. Now, right now, these are on one-shot mode. So that means when you trigger each of these samples, they're going to play in their entirety. What I want to do is load them in classic mode. And what this means is that the length that the note is held down for will determine how long the note plays for. So I'm going to start with the low A sharp here. Now they're only playing really short because they're 16th notes. So what I'm going to do is use the tie function to extend the length of these. Let's make this 32 steps as well. And I'm going to cut out these. I only want them to play at the beginning here. They're not the best 808 samples out there, but they'll do for right now. There's actually a pretty easy way you can use drum synth to build your own custom pitched 808s, which I may cover that in another video if you guys want to see that. Live loops is incredibly helpful for building out arrangements. So let's say that I want some keys to go along with my beat and my 808s. So I'll just pull in a loop with some keyboards in it here. And let's see what that sounds like with everything in. With audio loops, if you find that the key of the loop doesn't match up with your bass or match up with your other instruments, you can very easily just click on that audio loop, go up to your cell inspector up here, and you can change the transposition in octaves like this by 12 semitones at a time. Or let's, say I want to go up 3 semitones. You just type in 3. Or if you want to go down 5 semitones, you type in -5. And it'll transpose that loop to a different key. Fortunately enough, it sounds like it works just fine in its standard tuning, so I'll leave it there. Now, if you want to start building things out to different scenes, you can hold Option and duplicate cells to different scenes, or you can select cells and press Command R to repeat them. So let's say on this second scene, I want the same beat and same 808s, but a different keyboard idea. So let me just pull another one of these in here. And you can pull in loops from the loop browser, or you can pull them in from the Finder, or pull them in from, Splice, for example. You can pull them in from anywhere, audio loops, and they'll automatically adjust their tempo to the tempo of your project. So let's say I wanted to build out my arrangement some more. Well, I'll just duplicate my beat over. You can double click on it and you can alter the beat. So each one of these cells are independent from each other. So once you duplicate them, you can change them. So let's say on this one, I want to get rid of all of these doubled and note repeated hi-hats. So I'm going to right click here and choose clear row. So it clears all the steps on the row. And I'm going to make this really simple. I'm just going to do just 16th notes. Not straight 16th notes, but sort of a simple, sort of galloping 16th note pattern. Cool. Now you can build out other instruments in addition to drums in the step sequencer. It doesn't just have to be drum beats. For example, I'll load up a new software instrument here. And I'll create a new pattern cell. Now, with synthesizers and other tonal instruments, it's a little trickier because each row is a different note. You can also use melodic rows as well, but things get a little complicated, from there on. If you want to learn more about that, go check out my step sequencer course, because it's a pretty deep what you can do. But a quick way to pull up patterns for tonal instruments is to either use a pattern preset, that's a melodic preset, like one of these, or what you can do is you can go to templates and choose a key to work within. So let's say I want to work in minor. I'll just select the minor template, and it gives you 2 octaves of that key. So this is 2 octaves of a C minor scale here. I'll add a bit of delay to this as well. Now, once you're all done building out your live loops grid and you want to transfer this over into the tracks area, maybe you want to lay down some vocals on this or something, what you can do is you can hit the record button up here and you can actually record the whole performance over into the tracks area. But one way I find that's a bit quicker is to just set the playhead where you want it to go down to the scene that you want to send over to the tracks area, right click on it, and choose Insert Scene at Playhead. And if I want another copy of that, I can do the same thing. Then maybe I want one playthrough of scene 2, and then maybe I want a playthrough of scene 3. Now, the reason why some of these are muted out is because if you click up here, this enables or disables the tracks area. Okay, so it's not the hottest beat you've ever heard, I'm sure, but I think you get the point. The workflow that's new to Logic 10.5 for beat building is a combination of multiple factors. The drag and drop sampling workflows, the upgrades to Drum Machine Designer, the step sequencer, and live loops. Using these 4 things in tandem can really speed up your workflow and make beat building much more efficient and much more fun. It takes all the boring, mundane programming tasks out of sampling. In just a few minutes, you can build a fully fledged custom drum instrument. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. If you have any ideas for future Logic 10.5 update videos, if there's any topics that you want to see me cover, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for the support, and thanks for watching.